everybody, and welcome to the Star Wars Jedi Survivor review. I'm your host, Alec Bobko. I'm joined by Chris, aka Rumbleback92.
Trust only in the Force. Is the mic picking up my lightsaber?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll just put that down.
Also joined by Jordan Deeb.
Hey, yo.
And Brett, aka Jim Tasty.
What's up? What's up?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Star Wars good.
Star Wars, good.
Star Wars is good because let me tell you, I had some stuff happen last week. I spent the entire weekend out of town. I had to watch all of my friends playing Jedi Survivor without me. I drive 8 hours back to Ohio from Tennessee. I sit down. I'm like, I'm going to play it. I don't care.
Like midnight, right?
Like 11:30 at night. And I just immediately loaded up and started playing it. So I got lucky with having a couple days like not too busy at work. In the last 3 days, I've put 33 hours into Jedi Survivor. I've rolled credits. It was amazing. I love it.
I played it the same way where I was off Friday, and obviously I'm off on the weekends. And other than 2 recordings or 1 recording and a stream we did, I made a little nest on this couch and I did not move.
Like Jabba
it was just basically, I would like get up once a day to vacuum and like look at my own filth and then just like remind myself I'm a dirty, dirty human.
Yep.
Get up like, what am I?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, because I finished like an hour ago, and I have about 20 hours total. I didn't get to play as much on Sunday, but still, yeah, for a game launching Friday, and this is the Wednesday after, like,
Solid.
That's still a pretty good chunk of time, yeah.
Solid.
How about you?
This feels a little bit longer than Fallen Order, which we'll get into. I'm like 30 hours in, and I'm like 3 mini chapters left, so I just got off the the ISB thing, and then
You're right at the end. Yeah.
And then I'm at 62% total completion because I did kind of dilly dally a little bit, but yeah, I couldn't stop. I couldn't put this game down. Like last night, I played it for like 9 hours. Like I just like could not. Like it kept going and going and going. So
there's a part in the story where it just starts hitting and doesn't let up, and I was just like, I have to keep playing.
And that's literally for me where, I guess, jumping into our quick intro thoughts before we dive super deep into it. I played most of the game on Jedi Knight, which Jordan and I were kind of talking about. Like for me, it's like I actually thought maybe, I don't know if it's because I've been playing a bit of Elden Ring, so maybe that kind of helped. But I actually thought Jedi Knight this time around was actually well balanced. Where like it was a good challenge, but I wasn't like beating like hitting myself over the head of like how do I beat this boss, like just dying over and over. But I did step it down to Padawan just so I could, about 2/3 of the way through the game, just so I could get through it and in time for this review.
I actually accomplished something that I didn't with Fallen Order, which is I played the entire game on Jedi Master, which was Fallen Order. When I got to Trilla, I dropped it down to Night because I spent about 2 hours just getting my ass beat. And then later I went back and I played that game on Grandmaster. But yeah, I played the entire game on Jedi Master, and it's hard. It's hard, man. There were a few fights that I was getting mad at.
Yeah, so I'm playing it on Jedi Knight as well, and definitely a couple of times where I felt like there was a challenge. I don't know if this is like too off kilter to say it. It feels a little tougher than Fallen Order. And I had this interesting like come to like a eureka moment where I was like, why am I struggling with this game a little bit more? And we can talk about this too, like on what platforms do we play it on and everything like that. So I'm playing on Series X, and I just replayed Fallen Order like a month ago on PS5, and that's like buttery smooth 60. It's great, all that stuff. And then going down to 30 FPS on Series X because I'm playing in like fidelity mode or the graphics mode. It's not as responsive, right? It's just not going to be because there's less frames. So I had to like kind of reorient like my timing on dodging, attacking, blocking, everything. So that was definitely like another, like, cause I remember doing that on Fallen Order back on Xbox One. So it's been fun, but yeah, definitely a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I think it's just due to like the enemy variety, right? There's just more, and the game loves to like towards the end just throw all kinds of different enemies at
Just
you.
a gauntlet
in the same room too.
Bro, fuck the DT Sentinels, man. The Dark Trooper droids, I fucking hate them. They're so hard on Jedi Knight difficulty or on Master difficulty, and they always throw like, here's a big axe one, and also a staff one, and also there's dudes with turrets and guys with jetpacks all in the same room. And I'm like, fuck you, game. You suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before we get too much further, I will say this is a spoiler-free review. So if you guys are interested, if you want to hear our thoughts on spoiler and the story content, comment down below. Let us know you want to see a spoiler cast.
Story spoilers. I feel like we should point out there'll probably be
spoilers,
some gameplay spoilers going on in here, but I don't think that's necessarily huge. They advertise a lot of what's in the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm with Brett where I feel like it was harder. I played Fallen Order on Night the entire way through until like you, Chris. I dropped it down for the Trilla fight after just getting, it's like one too many. I died one too many times. I was like, fuck it.
You just get worked.
Basically. And then with this one, I kind of was dynamic with the difficulty where like if I felt it was too easy, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's probably because I brought it down to Padawan and forgot to bring it back up. And the times I brought it to Padawan were just like fights that I felt were like cheap because like not necessarily my timing's bad, but the thing I'm fighting does one move that can knock down 70% of my health, or I'm just out of stims for whatever reason. And then there was like one boss fight where just because it was like such a pivotal moment in the story, I was like, let's do this in story mode just because I gotta keep going. I gotta see what happens. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as a whole, I definitely think it was harder.
And something I noticed this time around, and I guess I don't know if this would technically be a spoiler, but I feel like there was a lot more stims this time around. Like when I just did a replay of Fallen Order, and I think I had gotten like maybe 4 stims in that like total, whereas in this time I had like 6.
I think they're more accessible in this game, or at least they're a little easier to find, because I think both games have 10.
Oh, dang.
And I finished with 8. I know where one of them is, and I know where the 9th one that I need is. I've seen it, but it's behind actually, I know where the last 2 are, and they're both behind bosses that I cannot beat yet. Still.
So good. I guess speaking of bosses you can't beat, I guess let's just start off into the new combat stances. Like that's kind of the biggest improvement, and I do say improvement because man, Fallen Order was good, but man, with the customization, the combat, and everything, they brought everything to Survivor, and I am absolutely loving this combat.
I genuinely think. I'm sorry. I genuinely think Survivor is just a better game in every conceivable way. But especially the combat. There's so much there, and the idea that you don't really get enough skill points to like fully proc out everything, like in one playthrough, right? That kind of forces you to sit down and be like, okay, what's the kind of feel it out and play with it. I thought.
What's your awesome. Preferred?
Every stance felt cool for different reasons. I ended up just being a basic bitch, and I went single and double because I had the best successes with those.
Yeah, I rocked the single just because it's the jack of all trades, and then I went the cross guard if I wanted to play the smackdown.
Yeah, so cool.
How about yours?
So I went cross guard and double.
Okay. Nice.
Like double or dual?
Double side, like maul.
Okay.
Yeah. As for like the
interesting.
Yeah. So I do want to say one thing, because I think this is going to be something I think throughout everything we're going to discuss in this review. Like you said, I think this is a better game in every way. It is incredible the way they expanded on everything, but I think with every aspect of this game, I think they went too far with one thing and not far enough in another thing. And with combat specifically, I, at the very least, wish that single was available at all points.
Like have single and then 2 more stances?
Yeah, especially because it doesn't make sense to me of like just turn off. I felt like Patrick giving Man Ray his wallet, where I was like, so I have a lightsaber. Yes, it comes out of 2 sides. Yes, I could turn one on if I wanted. Yes, so I can have single blade. You don't have it equipped. Like,
Yeah,
that was like my biggest gripe is like I just
Right.
wish that, because the reason I didn't really use the other two, like the blaster and the dual wield, is because I didn't feel like I was doing that good with them. And I couldn't fall back to using single, which is balanced in every way, just to get past, let's say, a part where it was a little bit tricky, and then use the ones I want to kind of improve on and try out on the rest of the map.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's funny you say that, because
sorry,
I actually made blaster and dual wield.
Nice.
Dual wield the entire game.
Blaster, I think, is the
I
sauciest
love
one in the
dual
game
wield.
for
Oh
sure.
my gosh.
I see. That's one I wish was completely reworked. Where I wish
Really?
the lightsaber, it almost, I don't like that he's just holding it in one hand the whole time. I don't literally mean that's the animation, but the way it feels is that it's more of a quick
You're talking
jab.
blaster or
Yeah, with blaster.
Okay, sorry,
They're
I was
fencing
talking
moves.
dual wield. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
They're
because you're
fencing
meant
moves.
to-
He does Dooku shit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're meant to be at range,
That's
so
for
it's
you,
like the
Brett. That was
lunges
for you.
are.
Yeah.
But because you're meant to be like, using the blaster at range, so then the lunges are to help you gain more ground to get up there quick.
Yeah, just something about it just didn't feel comfortable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was that shooting was triangle.
Yeah, and maybe because I didn't put a lot of time into blaster mode either, because it was good for, like, again, I didn't level it up a lot, so I'm sure it obviously gets more powerful and more versatile if you put the points into it. But initially, when it was low level and I was still like early on in the game, or when I first unlocked it and didn't have a lot of, I like how you can respect though at any time,
Yeah,
right?
that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. It's just, the blaster didn't do enough damage, and the fencing was good for like the little critters, but nothing else.
Blaster was, for me, I saw it more as lowering the stagger bar, because it didn't do much damage, but it brought down their stagger bar real quick.
Yeah, it does. It does a lot of like defensive damage.
So that's why for me, I like the combination of blaster and dual wield, because I could, get a couple shots off with the blaster, get them stunned, and then jump in with a dual wield and just mess them up.
Yeah. Plus, I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as I can. There's one boss that is literally a joke. I will not describe how or when or where it comes up.
Yeah.
I literally he came charging at me, and I
couldn't believe they did it. I couldn't believe they did it. Like,
they're so good.
That was a great moment. No,
yeah, amazing.
Yep. So, I guess we got kind of some combat stuff out of the way, but I guess we kind of just skipped over just general impressions. So, Chris, how about you start us off?
Like I said, I think it's better in every conceivable way. I don't really feel like talking about the performance of this game, because those are things that can be fixed and have already been improved. And it's like I had some performance issues. It really just kind of came down to like I would drop down to like I played in the performance mode, and I got mostly 60 frames outside of really the town in Kobo, right? That would drop me down to around like 30ish. I'd get some pop in every time I walk into the saloon, but like outside of that, I didn't really have any issues. So the performance stuff didn't detract from my experience at all, and I know that's not everyone else's experience. Others, but when I come in so hot on this, like, just please know that's why I didn't have really any like performance issues with the game. But yeah, I absolutely adored it. It reminds me of God of War Ragnarok, just kind of in the way that it took all of these concepts that were very clearly like that they wanted to do in the first game, or had ideas for, and didn't have the time, and the way that everything has just been expanded and bigger and tighter. I really love. I think the world design on all the planets is really great, and getting around and exploring feels rewarding because you get good rewards for them, right? Whether that's skill points or health and force upgrades, or my favorite thing, which is the unbelievably cool cosmetics in the game, because Cal's character customization is so rad. Now
it's another level in this game.
Now, Brett, tell me you purchased from Doma the bandolier.
Dude, I've made my guy look like Cal Kestis.
Yes, absolutely. I saw that. I was like, I gotta have it right now. I put on the white shirt, I had the bandolier, I had the blue lightsaber and blaster. I was like, it's Cal Katarn!
Dude, yeah. I didn't make him too much like Cal Katarn, but I did I made him a little inspired just because I didn't, with Star Wars, the customization is way more expansive. But with Star Wars games, I just get in like the lore mode where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be like changing out my, in the movies, they're not changing out their outfits and stuff like all that. So
That's
like,
so funny.
I made some minor adjustments, but nothing like too major. But it was like, I just love all the different armor sets, the way you can customize the saber better now, the gun, everything in between. I did laugh though when BD1, yeah. Although I did laugh when I got the poncho cosmetic.
I still haven't found it. Funny enough, I know it exists. I need to find it.
I fought this like tough ass boss, and then and then I get that, and it's tied to Fallen Order too, like the bossy fight with the upgrades.
No, I know what boss it is.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chris, you didn't find the cosmetic.
No.
Okay.
No.
We're not going to spoil the boss it is, but I found something regarding that boss that I don't want to spoil for anyone else, but I will just say, keep your eyes peeled at different force tears, because there's one force tear that I know about that hilarious.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm too scared. I don't want to go back to it. But yeah, the cosmetics are great. Like the lightsaber and customization and everything is so cool. Like I love it. I mean, being able to even just like change his hair and beard, I think is such a cool a cool aspect too. I've seen so many TikToks of people doing the mullet and handlebar mustache and being like, "America, fuck yeah!" and
out the blaster.
Yeah, exactly. With like red, white, and blue like cosmetics on their blaster and shit. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's to be able to go in and almost like Disney bound in the game, basically, right? To where I have a Cal Katarn outfit. I've got this sweet like Rom Coda looking one. I pre-ordered the game, and I got the deluxe edition. So I have like the Luke Skywalker, the Obi-Wan, the Han Solo. I think my favorite set is the bomber jacket and bomber pants, and then I've got like these cool gloves from a shirt underneath it, and because I mean I have a hat on today, but I've been tying my hair up, so I rock the man bun and beard most of the game, drinking Imperial pale ales on Nar Shaddaa, you know what I mean? But it's so funny you said you didn't really change him. I change Cal's outfit every time I travel to a new planet.
Yeah, not quite as that much, but yeah.
Every single time.
I would do it in the middle of missions. I'd get a new cosmetic. I'd be like, hey, the droids can wait. Like, let me, and like,
I love the idea of Cal being on like the Luger Hulk and being like, hold on, I got to change my pants.
Yeah.
I do like how you can change that anywhere. Obviously some of the stuff you have to be at like meditation zones and stuff like that. But yeah, just for my first, like, I'm not even done with the game yet. Like, the lore, the canon story, like I want to like be immersed. And then when I like go and do all the side stuff, maybe I'll just like mess around and have fun. So, but yeah, I'm glad it's there. Like it needed to be, because Fallen Order was
ponchos
so excellent in a lot of ways, but like, yeah, when you got like the 20 ponchos, there was a couple cool ponchos for sure, but
there were some cool ones. 20. But a new game plus right off the rip though too is really
photo
really
mode as well.
Yeah,
photo mode,
I think my camera roll is all screenshots. I'm not kidding.
So long to find that photo mode.
Xbox.
It took me a while to find photo mode as well, Alec. I
need Xbox to allow me to buy more cloud storage for my photos and videos like Apple does, because I ran out of space. I still have a lot of stuff on my internal capture or like on my local storage that I need to like upload to SkyDrive or whatever they call it. And then, because like too many, man. So many, like, I don't even mess around with photo modes a lot of times in the games, because you know, like with God of War, for example, like that comes like 3 months later. I'm like, okay, I'm like done with that game. Like,
Yeah, like why would I bother?
I've moved on. Like, I don't want to play through the whole game again just to get like 10 cool pictures. But day one, and I'm going through absolutely, yeah. So again, I love that the photo mode's in there. So great, just a little thing that
yeah, that's the first time I've sat in a game and just like essentially put together like a scrapbook of my journey across the game. I was constantly, I would call me Brett playing Metroid because I took screenshots like the entire time I was playing the game.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, give some of your thoughts.
General thoughts, I mean, is what I said before, where I think this game is absolutely incredible to the point that this game, I think, made me rethink some opinions I have on Star Wars. And I mean that in a good way. Like, completely changed the way I think about a Jedi, completely changed the way I think about the types of adventures and stories you could go on in this universe. And I love how every aspect of this game was expanded. I just do think, like I said before, some of the expansions took a step in the wrong direction for me, and that I don't necessarily think that they're bad. I just think that some of the design philosophies behind some of these choices are ones that I personally didn't vibe with.
All right. And Brett, let's get into nitty gritty. Let's give us your thoughts.
What are your general thoughts, Alec Bobco?
Yeah.
Okay, man, this game, I've been saying I've been in a bit of a gaming lull, and putting this on Friday night, I'm back, baby.
It just hits.
Oh my gosh. I just love this game. Like, it's my game of the year so far. I'll say it. It was just an amazing experience. Like, Hi-Fi Rush is good, yeah. Metroid Prime Remastered, good, but Destiny 2 it was good. This is just by far. It was the Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed for Fallen Order.
Ooh, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah.
Everything in this was just, had a solid foundation, and I'm going to Respawn, right?
Yeah.
It was just one of those, like, I had it, and my brain just like, it's just gone. But they just were firing on all cylinders with this game. And for me personally, I was playing on PS5. I actually didn't notice didn't have too many technical issues. Like, I noticed some screen tears every now and then. I was playing in performance. I didn't really. I was playing with HDR on, and I guess I just learned listening to KFGD that HDR was kind of broken, but I didn't really notice. I just noticed it was kind of dark, but it was. I mean, it looked fine to me. Like, I mean,
your mileage may vary.
Screenshots.
Sorry, PC players.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen some of the screenshots I've been posting. They look good. Like, and that was with HDR on. And like, this game is, I was very close to considering going for the platinum, but then I saw the thing of where I had to scan every enemy. I'm like, I don't know about that.
You also have to do all of the force tears, and one of them is brutal. Absolutely brutal. It's the one that Jordan was referring to earlier, and it's going to haunt me forever.
I'll talk to you about it afterwards, Chris.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
But this, I just absolutely love this game. Like, every bit. Like, having just replayed Fallen Order, I can say this game is pretty much better in every way.
Yeah.
And okay, nitty gritty.
Nitty gritty. You are our lead reviewer.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Take it away.
No score yet, but just gotta keep the people waiting for that. But your nitty gritty thoughts. Let's go.
Yeah. So, I wrote like a little 30-second review script, and so basically I said like in this amazing gaming experience, you'll be amazed by the gorgeous graphics, like Jedda's beautiful stained glass lighting, and the realistic landscapes of Kobo. The gameplay is engaging with snappier movement, expanded combat, challenging puzzles, and then just added elements like town building with the garden, and even the holo tactics, stuff like that is great.
I love that game.
Yeah,
I hate it.
This. I love doing the droid balls, man. Just rolling them at.
Do you guys actually want to know a fucking broken tactic? Is the little chickens?
Oh yeah,
they one-shot most enemies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just line the front with chickens.
Grease was getting me with that so much, and then the strategy I actually found that was actually getting most people was the I think it was like the bile do something whatever, like the big rhinoceros looking thing.
The
those ones are good.
Yeah, and then the heavy assault clone trooper, because you know the thing would like charge and get most enemies, and then you just have him back there just picking people off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I said, the story is super immersive and well written. Features great group dynamics between all of the characters, and some iconic moments with, characters we all know and love.
Mommy Marin.
Or fear.
Greasy money, baby.
There are some minor glitches and performance issues, but I don't think they take away from the overall enjoyment of the game at all. So yeah, I think it's an excellent game. It's, you said it was your game of the year. It's probably my game of the year right now. We'll see with Zelda. Obviously,
Zelda next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say this was like a good warm up before Zelda.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm still
legitimately all my time to that game.
I'm still gonna put off in the corner Metroid Prime Remaster just because that game was it was just fun to dive back. It holds up so well. But yeah, I definitely recommend this to any and all Star Wars fans. And I think it's like, it's just so technically impressive. Like, I was just floored by the fidelity of the assets of the game. Like, so many times just like standing in awe. Like, it's such a gorgeous game. I can't believe I can't wait to play it on the PS6, man. Like at 120 frames. 8K.
See, for me, I can't wait until, because eventually, like most EA games, they come to Game Pass eventually. So whenever this does come to Game Pass, I can't wait to play it on PC, because I'm assuming by that point
You might want to wait to play it on PC. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like by the time it comes to Game Pass,
by the time
they should have.
I bought this game. Yeah, I bought this game twice because I'm gonna get the achievements on Xbox and I'm gonna dive into PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the story though, because I know we're going spoiler free, so we're not really talking about like the actual,
plot points
or anything. But I did also just kind of want to say that I absolutely love this story. I think the emotional beats are great. The writing is excellent, and
Cal I did not see coming.
Because there were seeds planted with some stuff I didn't see coming, and then they were like zigging, so I was like, okay, that's not, it just led to nowhere or whatever. They just wanted to throw you off, and then it comes back, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, some genuine plot twists, and I think what might be the single coolest set piece I've ever seen in a video game. I finished it. I did this part. It was like 1 a.m. Everyone in my house was asleep. I put it down. I looked around. I know no one else is in the room, and I said, "That was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen."
Same.
I think we're thinking of the same one, and I played through that. Yes, okay. Yeah. So I played through that section and legitimately thought
the Camino thing.
Why was this not in trailers? And this comparison shouldn't spoil anything. The way Spider-Man with the crane was advertised a lot.
Which is so funny because
in the trailers they use a moment like that I just played an hour ago, like near the end of the game.
Oh, yeah,
I thought it was like
I was just about to bring it
up at the beginning.
It was like one of the bits from like the most recent trailer that people were like, "Oh my god, this bit is crazy." It's from the last like 3 hours of the game.
Yeah,
but we're also talking about the same company that spoiled that Darth Vader was at the end of the first game, like a week after the game came out. So
and they also spoiled I don't know if this was supposed the dual double bladed, because the same trailer Darth Vader showed him hitting him with the double blade.
Mm-hmm.
Good story though, overall. Yeah, I mean, great,
fantastic story.
Great story, and
I love the characterization. I love the characterization of Cal. Like, without going too much into it, and I don't know the final like little beat or whatever they're gonna do. In Fallen Order, I didn't like dislike him. I liked his character, and I liked what they told with his story. And Barrett from Kind of Funny with that video he put out a little bit ago definitely like put words to thoughts that I had and feelings that I had that made me appreciate him more. But so far, like just what they've done with him, like I had a moment playing this game where like I like put him up on that tier, up on that shelf of like iconic Star Wars characters to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That I didn't put him before. Like
Mm-hmm.
to me, he's up there with like Mando and all of the characters
yeah.
that you associate with Star Wars.
It
And
was-
with Fallen Order, it was like, okay, cool character, great game, but yeah, with this game,
kind of Fallen Order was kind of your basic like Padawan to becoming a Jedi Knight, right? And
Yep.
and that was really really great. But like kudos to them for like the moment the game starts, like from the opening scenes, like you immediately understand what Cal has experienced and is feeling.
Yeah.
Just instantly, like the naive Padawan is gone. You have this tired, beaten down, desperate Cal at this point, who's constantly battled against like the horrors of the Empire for 5 years and feels like he hasn't gotten anywhere. And I was just the writing and characterization of Cal was absolutely incredible.
And I know, we had the bit, I brought the book on Media Club, but like, let me say, if you read Battle Scars, like it fits perfectly between like you get so much more out of this game having read that book, and like so you get to see that kind of that through line.
Yeah.
So I haven't read the.
I'm sorry. In Battle Scars, like they start planting the seeds for the idea that the Mantis crew was going to split in between games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. See, I haven't read Battle Scars yet. I probably will now because, and this is what I like about
the
Star
writing
Wars
for Marin is a little off in the book. I'm just going to warn you right now.
Okay. But like
Marin.
It's a double-edged sword,
Mama
but
man.
what I like, and sometimes people don't like it with these like massive IPs, is in between stories and things like that. And so, but with Star Wars, this totally felt like original trilogy. Like you watch episode 5 and you're like, okay, obviously there's stuff that happened in between episodes 4 and 5 with the way the characters all relate to each other, but you can go back to that. You can always go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, and the Battle Scars does some things like kind of just actually really similar to like Force Awakens. C-3PO shows up with a red arm, and everyone's like, "What's up with that?" There's a comic that explains like the fun little story of why that happens. It's not information you need to enjoy the movie, but it's there. And Battle Scars does that actually with Grease's arm. And then some of the motivations of other characters and stuff too, and you kind of get to see that, but none of it's essential to understanding the story of the game. It's perfectly encapsulated if you play Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those things. Like I was saying though, it felt like it was a great supplement in addition to this game. Like it helped me bridge that gap and help me enjoy this game even more. Getting because with a game, like you do get to get in the mindset, but having that additional piece of content to like really like you're hearing their inner monologues, their inner thoughts. You're not just seeing it on their faces. Yeah. Like getting to hear that, it was just really cool. Like seeing kind of where everybody's mindset was at.
And also, if you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend reading Catalyst and then watching Rogue One, and then also reading Shadow of the Sith and then The Rise of Skywalker.
All right. Sorry, I'll take a little break, but we're back.
But yeah, Battle Scars.
Are we going?
Yes, we are.
I can't see. Okay.
We were force meditating.
I never read it, and I don't think I will because I hate books. But I do think
that's why I didn't read it. I listened to it when I was at work.
Okay, but I do like the idea of when you have an expanded universe, not everything needs to be an extra side to the dish that is the universe. Everything should add flavor or spice, even if you don't know it's there. And so Battle Scars weaves into the story of this, but like Chris said, you can understand it without having read it. Like you could understand this game without having read it. And that's what I would love to see from these characters as well as we see more of them is like, I don't need Luke Skywalker to show up in Jedi 3. However, we are getting to a point where we're like, all right, if you've been around this long and you're helping people, where were you for like all this other shit? So like I think like we need almost an answer to that, but we don't necessarily need like, hey, let's bring in everybody from the movies.
Yeah, I feel like if there is a third game, and the way, again, no spoilers, but the way this ends, there's probably going to be a third game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've talked about it. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like Survivor was greenlit almost immediately, like weeks after Fallen Order came out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll hear news on it soon. But yeah, I think it is now getting to a point where there's going to have to be at least one major player that we know that comes in and does something. Right, like I don't mean Saw Gerrera, right? Or yeah, absolutely. He's name dropped a few times in the game, by the way. If you talk to the girl in the DJ droid, she mentions that she played with Max Rebo's band once or twice. She also talks about Scuba Stev, who is the best.
Dude, that guy's name is Scuba Steve.
It's
Scuba Steve, bro.
That's such a good reference.
Big Daddy, dude. Big Daddy.
Scuba Steve.
I had to, so I paused and had to look up if Scuba Steve was a fictional character invented just for Big Daddy, or if he was a character that I've never heard of except through Big Daddy. And I was like, no, this is just straight up. There's a Big Daddy reference.
Yeah. So his fucking awesome. Name is Scuba Stev. He tells you fishing stories every time you talk to him. It's amazing. He is the best character.
Too, yeah.
He is the best side character in the game. I don't remember what I was talking about. What were we talking about?
I don't know. But
I got distracted by Stev.
A third game, like kind of like.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. You can't have your Scuba Stevs or your Max Rebos or whatever. Like, there's got to be your Turgle. Shout out Turgle. It's you gotta. There's got to be somebody major stepping in soon.
Yeah. All right. I think the one last thing we'll cover before we get to final thoughts is because with all the abilities you get in this game, I need a Star Wars platforming game.
This is it, I would say.
This is pretty damn close.
Like,
it's right, but I mean, like, there's a segment. It's basically just Celeste.
Yeah, I know.
If you guys ever played that,
yeah.
Like,
I wrote down grapple equals a game is automatically better.
Yeah, equals good game.
We've said it how many times here at Shared Screen.
Like Uncharted 4, you had that rope, and it's like, okay, this is just a way better game now.
And then you put an air dash into the game. Shit.
Air dash. Even though we talked about the balloon a little bit, like that was like so cool, just like launching yourself off into the air. So many moments where you're like launching into the air in this game, and you just get to like look at this like massive like vista. Great.
The platforming in this game, it reminds me of Ratchet and Clank, and I mean that both positively and negatively. Where this I would say is no longer it's a third person action game that has platforming because it makes sense for the story or the environment the way like Uncharted does. I would argue this is a third person adventure platformer, like in terms of how much you're doing.
Dark Souls combat.
Yeah,
it's just everything. All the genres.
And the gameplay and the intricacy of the platforming feels good, is amazing. The negative I think that came from that, and it's hard to find a balance, but personally, is we were getting to points where there were just floating rectangles in the air because you needed them there to get to the other side. And
yeah,
there were points where I noticed that there weren't things that were there for a reason. The way like in Fallen Order,
there was some video game shit.
Yeah. Like literally on the moon at one point, there is just a blank for lack of a better word, billboard that's just being lifted up by like a little propeller thing. And I wish that they did more of the billboard stuff that you did in the first level of like, the idea of wall running can be done on multiple types of things and not just these flat surfaces that we've put in scratches so you know that's what you're supposed to do, which of course you need to signpost and all that.
I mean, we are also talking about a game where you can find haircuts and facial hair in chests.
That's true.
I mean, there's some video game shit in these games, like, and it's part of the charm of it, though. I think I would rather a game be more video gamey.
I'm not shitting on it. It was just something that I noticed.
There are times like before you have an ability and you see that thing floating in the air, it's like I'm gonna get something that will let me interact with that eventually because that's the only reason that's there. Yeah,
I did feel progression of. Sorry, Alec.
I was just gonna say, like, I know, like we were kind of talking like the walls kind of being in nowhere, but at the same time, we would have gotten our favorite set piece of the game without all that kind of stuff. So.
But see that one, I think the reason why to me it was my favorite set piece is because most of it made sense
within the
confines of everything going on. All made sense.
You also mentioned progression. I mean, shout out any game sequel that lets you keep all of your abilities from the previous game right off the rip. Like you feel
There's a couple
good in this.
There's
game.
a couple that you had to relearn.
Now, I do also both love and hate that they've retooled the forced slow ability. I really miss having it right there, but I know that also they retooled it because it absolutely trivializes some boss battles.
Yeah, and like
I felt this one was more OP.
Well, but it's like a super meter, which
but you're not getting free hits every few seconds. Like, yeah,
I like the super meter as like an added like layer of like element to the gameplay, and then I with the right bumper now, R1, I love like the different force abilities you got,
slam and throw up.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So I was like, okay, like that's cool.
That's something with, I think maybe kind of the saber configuration I had. I wasn't really using the force powers all that much because I was mainly just using the sabers for combat.
Oh, I leaned hard into them, especially because there's so many more flame troopers in this game than there is in the first one. And I found out that the force slam kills them in one shot. So
there you go.
I was using confuse a decent amount, but yeah, those force powers that you really more unlock for purposes of exploration, and it can be used in combat, but when they're introduced to you, I felt like a lot of the progression happened at a weird pace where you got a lot in the beginning, the entire middle you got a couple of things, and then you got a lot again towards the end.
I think the middle was mostly like stuff from the skill tree as opposed to like overworld abilities, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is cool. A lot of really, really cool abilities in there too.
Alrighty, Brett, before we get into our final thoughts, what score do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a. Do we do decimals? Like
we do decimals.
We do halves.
Halves.
Okay.
Yep.
Halves.
20-point scale. Yep.
Man, okay, that's tough now because I was gonna give it a 9.2. And that's like right down the middle. So,
9 or 9.5. Pick one. You must choose.
I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though I don't play it on PC, I think a lot of those technical issues for like those $5,000 machines is pretty rough.
It's unfortunate
for the game, and obviously, like you said, Chris, in a month, whatever, it's going to be fixed and it's going to be completely fine. But reviews are a moment in time, a time capsule, right? Of like
this is how we received the game. Yeah,
the discussion, and it's out. It's 1.0. So
I'm just curious though, like since you play on Xbox and you said you didn't really have all those technical issues, like would you still count that as a 9, or would you have bumped that up?
Well, so I would still give it a 9. I did have some bugs, like I wrote some of them down here. Where are they? Like lightsaber glitch, where like I got the double blade early. Even though like you get it at the beginning, but like in the cutscene, like it was showing.
Oh, it was just there.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Kobo, like there's definitely some rough performance zones in that game. I remember before, like I had even watched any video anywhere, I went into the river and it just was like I was like, oh my gosh, like okay, like and I'm pretty like I can notice some of that stuff, but I'm not like super analytical about it. But that was like made me go, okay, whoa, I'm not gonna run into this.
I always have to wait a few seconds for the doors to open in the cantina, like
I think
going
that's
in and
just
out because it's very clearly loading everything else.
Yeah, again, this is a massive. It's like 135 gigabytes or something. It's
huge game.
It's insane. I don't know if this is a bug, but I got like a ton of scan stuff where like BD1 would like run to an area and do like the boop and have like the color on his back, and like I'm like looking at it. I'm standing right next to him, and the scan button's not popping up. And then
I've seen that once or twice.
Sometimes you have to catch him at like the right angle. I noticed that a couple times too,
slightly up or down.
Because like you got to be like looking at
the game. Yeah. The game should not do that then, because like there would be times where I'm like looking all over the place. I would like run because I would run again. Maybe I just looked in the right spot, but I would run away, then back, and then happen to catch it and like hit the down on the D-pad real quick to like get the scan. So that was like a minor inconvenience.
I noticed that a few times. I didn't like that. Yeah.
Same.
Audio cut out a bunch where like,
oh geez.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Like I don't know like how to replicate it, but like I would like, sometimes like a big explosion or something like that, and then like the audio would just go silent for like 2 seconds.
Shell shock.
Yeah, I don't know, but like it happened like I want to say like 10 times or something like that. So
wow, okay, that's unfortunate. Sorry,
but again, like none of these were major. Like the scan bug. Like I'm gonna go back 100% it when I was just doing the main missions.
Yep.
The sound like it was again in and out, so it was like nothing bad.
The only major thing I came across was I was on the Lucre Hulk. I had done most of it, and I went to take a photo because I took a lot of photos in this game.
Yeah.
And I think because it photo mode always like up-reses like the stuff that you're, because it's not trying to. It essentially like re-renders everything like really quickly, so you can take like a super high res shot of it, and it crashed my game, and I had to play almost the entire Lucre Hulk again.
Ooh.
It was really fun, so I was like, all right, whatever. But that hit, and I was like, damn it.
I didn't have any crashes. I had one moment that like where it hitched. It wasn't the river section. It was somewhere else where it just like froze for 2 seconds, and I was like, uh-oh. But then it like just it caught back up. So.
Yeah, it was the only crash I had, which was nice. But I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely there.
Yeah, but I mean, like the perk system is awesome. Even like the aquarium, love a good aquarium. Make sure to invest in rare fish.
Garden.
Love like the added movement with the green barriers. Okay, when I was on the ISB base, I spent like 20 minutes stuck at that red barrier. The game did not tell me that at all.
Yeah.
No, dude. I was like,
I just guessed. I was like, can I? I was like, but then you can't go through white.
I was like, can I do it? And it did. Or blue.
I had to Google that because I was stuck right on the ISB base. I was like,
all right. Yeah. So sorry.
I was running around
away from spoilers, but
late game. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Chris, I guess final thoughts before we get going.
Loved it. 10 out of 10 for me personally. Like I mean, it's great character writing. It's a great story. It's fantastic gameplay. It's well-designed worlds. There's so much to do in the game, even outside of the main story, which was not something that Fallen Order really had. There's an unbelievable amount of content in this game. Like I'm 30 hours in, and I have a huge chunk of stuff still ahead of me to do. That's not just collecting things. Like there's actual things for me to go and play. I feel really, really confident in saying that this is going to go down as one of the greatest Star Wars games ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Dude, this game is so gorgeous. Like, I just was, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for them PC players.
I know, dude. They gotta wait like another month or so before they can experience it, but it'll be worth it. It's a good game.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And Jordan,
all things considered, I think this game for me, I was gonna say around an 8, but listen, game starts and Cal Kestis is hung up on the goth girl he fumbled in 2019, and he just like me for real. So 8.5 just for that, man.
That's why he's so sad.
Yeah,
fumbled the bag, bro.
There are so many set pieces in this game. I feel like way more than Fallen Order.
Oh yeah,
there's a couple in Fallen Order for sure that are obviously epic and iconic.
Because most of them in Fallen Order were slides.
But yeah, like. It's bigger and better on every scale, and I think like not that this matters, but like I probably would have given Fallen Order a 9 out of 10 back in the day, and only because expectations are higher, and it met them for me in Survivor. So that's why I give it a 9 as well, and because 10s are like masterpieces like Breath of the Wild, stuff like that. So it's right there, it's right on the door.
Yeah, I was debating for myself just personally if I was giving it a 10, and I'm like, it is so. I probably would have given it just that 9.5, just because it's like just the technical stuff. Like, it's hard to give something a 10 when there's that many technical issues in my mind.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love this game. Like, I can see myself whenever I get over the Zelda craze, coming back to this game and just losing myself again in Star Wars. Like, it just. I spent pretty much my whole entire Saturday playing this game. I spent like 6 hours straight playing before the stream, and I was all just spent for the most part exploring Kobo and just doing a bunch of the side stuff. And Kobo's it was just so much fun. just going around that world. And this is an ADHD person's like, I'm not diagnosed, but it's just the undiscovered path. You see all those yellow pathways.
It's a
like,
nightmare.
Oh, what's there?
Like,
Dude,
as a person with ADHD, I'm like, what do? I don't know which direction to go.
This game helped break me from like doing everything at once, because I got to Kobo and I'm like, okay, I want to complete Kobo before I move, before I leave. I'm like, bro, there's so many yellow doors and so many quests and rumors. And I was like, my brain can't handle this. I need to just play the story, which, by the way, with Fallen Order, a big caveat with that was, hey, no fast travel. That's lame. For some reason, that never really bugged me. I felt like you could,
it didn't bug me either.
I could get back from each spot in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
On Kobo, I was like, thank God there's fast travel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with
that broke me too. I'm like, the immersion of not fast travel. I was like,
don't care. Yeah, I did. I'm not
trying to
spending
do
5 minutes going back to the Mantis. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was fast tracking through the story towards the end, I'm like, from the Lucre Hole especially, when you're all the way in that swamp.
Yeah.
Like, let me just get back to the Mantis.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you like this, and if you did, leave a like, comment below what you would give Jedi Survivor, and if you want us to have a spoiler cast, if you want to see a spoiler cast from us, let us know. Help drive that algorithm up. Give it, if the love you give to us will help grow the channel, and we can help do more cool things. And with that, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.